What is going on, guys? Thanks for joining my channel, Bob's Finance. In today's video, I'm going to go over 7 travel stocks that can potentially get you up to 65% return on investment. So let's get started. If you guys are new to my channel, I did build a brand new portfolio. I did put about $20,000 into travel stocks. So I'll go over the first couple stocks with you. I will start with the airline. So airline, I would say would be the safest bet would be Delta Airline. I feel that this one has best customer service and they kind of got their stuff together unlike some other airlines out there. So if you look here, guys, on the 2-year chart, right now Delta's at 39.69. If you look here around March of this year, it broke about $50. So if it can get back to where it's been at around March, April, you're looking about a 25% increase. But here, guys, before COVID hit and the shutdown was almost at $60. So this would give you about a 40% return on investment if you did invest in here, if it did go back up to where it's at. And for my new investors, a lot of people actually do not know or didn't know that the airlines on here gave out dividends. So before COVID hit, they were paying dividends out 40 cents. If you look here on the 5-year, they were paying dividends out pretty consistently over here. So if we do get back to where we need to get at around the $50-$60 range, it's definitely a high possibility that they will start paying out dividends again to make it more attractive for people to purchase more shares of Delta. The next airline I'm going to go over with you guys is going to be Spirit. I'm not the biggest fan of Spirit themselves, especially with the customer service, the size of their seats, and all the extra charge they have. But if you're looking for a very inexpensive way to travel, I mean, if you're traveling light, then Spirit is the way to go. Even though they don't have the best customer service, I know a lot of people that don't travel a lot will just pick Spirit just because of the price of the tickets compared to other airlines. But if you do look at Spirit, it's at 22.36 right now. Here in March, April, it hit about 38. So with Spirit on the airline side, it has get beaten down pretty good. But you're looking almost about a 45% increase just on where it was at in March. And if you look here, it's not too much more over here. With pre-COVID, you're looking around almost a 50% increase on here. But the thing with Spirit, if you look at the 5-year, they don't pay any type of dividends. And even if it does go back up, even exceed where they were at, I still don't see them adding dividends on top of that. Like I said, it is a very inexpensive airline to go with. The next one, a lot of people have not heard of. I have purchased a good amount of shares in the past. It's US Global Jets ETF. They do own a couple airlines and they do carriers and they have different types of things related to airlines. So it's just not one thing. If you don't want to pick one specific airline, this ETF is a really, really good choice. So if you look here, they went up to about $28 here in March. It's at $22 now. It's about a 20% return on investment here, 20-25% return on investment. They did actually pay dividends. They did pay a dividend here in December, but obviously it was just 1 penny. They honestly should have just left it alone. But they did pay dividends here in 2019. And if you look at the 5-year, it was just an annual dividend that they did have. So if they do bring that back and it comes back to around the 31-32 range, you could be looking at around a 30-32% return on investment with the Jets ETF here. Next one I'm going to go to is going to be Boeing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with it. It's the largest aerospace company. It basically makes commercial jetliners. You know, it does defense for space security. It has been it's been hit pretty hard lately. It's down almost 6%. If you look here on the 2-year, in around March's April area, it was around 250, 260. So just with Boeing is about 20% increase on here. And they also paid a pretty decent dividend at $2.06 pre-COVID. But if we get back to around the 340, 350 range, you'd be looking at about a 40% increase on your investment. I don't know if they'll get back to that, but I definitely believe they'll definitely break the 300s eventually. Next one we're going to go to, guys, we'll go to resorts. So there are a lot of them out there, but I felt that Wynn Resorts, they specialize in kind of higher end hotels and casinos and everything like that. But I felt that this particular resort stock was beaten down pretty good. So if you look here, it's at $90.71. If you look, it went all the way almost about 140 here in March. So with Wynn Resorts, you have a potential about a 35% increase. And pre-COVID, if you look at the peak around 150, 160, then that could be about a 40% increase that you can see in your money. And they also pay dividends as well. So if they bring that back, you could be getting a decent stock and being paid pretty good amount of dividends here. Even though it has had a little bit of a rocky start, I believe it can still get into the 120, 130s and stay around that and possibly bring back the dividends. Next one, a lot of people have not heard of. It's Sabre. I'm pretty sure everyone, even though it's a newer stock, heard of Airbnb. I was going to invest in Airbnb, but I really feel that it's a little overbought, and they haven't really proved themselves to be at a price aspect that they're at. But with Sabre, it's kind of the same thing. They do global travel, but they're really big on the business side of it. So a lot of big corporations use Sabre operation. So if you look here, it's at 840 now. It's almost at 1680. So just with it getting in March of this year, you could be looking at 50% increase. And even more, you look here, it's at $22, $23. So you could be looking at about 65% increase on your money. And not only that, they paid dividends. So I believe this stock will definitely minimally at least get to the $16 range. Even though Airbnb is a competitor of them, a lot of, like I said, businesses, big corporations, they go through Sabre. So if you're not familiar with this, do a little more research on it. But like I said, at the price that it's at, I definitely found that this would be definitely a good investment on there. The last one we're going to go over is a cruise line. Even though I believe Royal Caribbean is the best cruise line out there, I believe that Norwegian Cruise Line can have the most gain out there. So right now it's at $23.09. If you look here, it's at about $32 in around March, April. So that would give you about a 30% increase. If it went back all the way to pre-COVID, it was like $55, almost $60. You could be looking at about a 60% increase on your money when cruise lines start to come back. And I'm telling you, once the market opens, everything kind of goes back to normal-ish. Everyone's going to be traveling. Everyone's going to be doing cruises. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the new ships out there. They're absolutely amazing. And if you look at the 5-year here, you can't really get too much better than this. It's pretty steady for the most part, even though they don't pay any dividends. But like I said, it's really, really beaten down to get almost a 60% increase if it gets back to where it's at. But like I said, in the long run, I'm not saying these things are going to turn around tomorrow, even the end of this year, maybe not even next year. But I would say if you hold on to it and you can increase the amount of money you invest it 50%, in the next 2 years, I would say that would be definitely worth it. So that is all 7 stocks that I do recommend to purchase, and obviously these are ones I did invest money into myself. I will probably be adding a little bit more as we go, and I'll go over the video with that later. But if you guys do see any other stocks travel wise that you saw that I didn't put on here, definitely let me know. If you do have these holdings, let me know as well. Please guys, hit the like, don't forget to comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys, have a wonderful day.